This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal or harmful activity. All content by this channel is meant for educational purpose only.
Hello and welcome to another new episode of Statecrafter. Please share with your friends and subscribe. We can achieve high with you. Today we are discussing is Quad capable to counter China and the role of USA.
A new alliance emerges, introducing the Quad. A coalition of four powerful democracies, known as the Quad, is taking shape. The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or Quad, comprises the United States, Japan, Australia, and India. It is a forum for dialogue and cooperation. These include a free and open Indo-Pacific. They also share concerns about China's growing assertiveness in the region. Countering the Dragon, the Quad's strategic objectives towards China. The Quad's primary objective is not to contain China, rather it seeks to ensure a free and open Indo-Pacific. This means a region where all countries can prosper and cooperate. This includes China. However, the Quad is clear-eyed about the challenges posed by China's actions. China's rise as a global power has been accompanied by growing assertiveness. This is particularly true in the South China Sea. China has built artificial islands and militarized disputed territories. This has raised tensions with its neighbors and the United States. The Quad seeks to counter China's growing influence through a multi-pronged approach. This includes strengthening military cooperation, promoting economic development, and upholding democratic values. The Quad aims to provide a counterweight to China's growing influence. The Quad's approach is not about confrontation, it's about competition. It's about shaping the regional order in a way that benefits all countries. The Quad believes that a rules-based order is essential for peace and prosperity. This order should be based on international law and respect for sovereignty. United front strategy is employed by the Quad to counter China. The Quad employs a range of strategies to achieve its objectives. These strategies span across various domains, including diplomacy, security, economics, and technology. The Quad nations engage in joint military exercises. These exercises enhance interoperability and send a message of deterrence. Economically, the Quad promotes infrastructure development and connectivity in the Indo-Pacific. This is seen as a way to counter China's Belt and Road Initiative. The Quad also focuses on promoting secure supply chains. This is especially important in critical sectors like semiconductors and rare earth minerals. Diplomatically, the Quad engages with other regional partners. This includes countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and South Korea. These engagements aim to build a broader coalition that supports a free and open Indo-Pacific. The Quad also emphasizes the importance of shared democratic values. They promote good governance, human rights, and the rule of law. These values are seen as essential for a stable and prosperous Indo-Pacific region.
Section 5. The Balancing Act. India's delicate role in the Quad. India plays a crucial role in the Quad. It is the only Quad member that shares a land border with China. This geographical reality shapes India's strategic calculus. India has long pursued a policy of strategic autonomy. It is wary of being seen as aligning too closely with any one power. India's participation in the Quad reflects its growing concerns about China. The 2020 border clash between India and China in the Himalayas heightened these concerns. The clash demonstrated China's willingness to use force to assert its territorial claims. Despite its concerns about China, India remains cautious about the Quad's trajectory. India does not want the Quad to be seen as an anti-China alliance. This could provoke China and undermine India's own interests. India sees the Quad as a forum for dialogue and cooperation. It is a way to advance its interests in the Indo-Pacific. These interests include ensuring freedom of navigation, promoting economic development, and countering terrorism.
Section 6. Beyond rhetoric. Tangible examples of the Quad's impact. The Quad's impact is not just limited to diplomatic statements, there are tangible examples of its activities. The Malabar naval exercises conducted annually by the Quad navies showcase their growing military cooperation. These exercises involve complex maneuvers, including anti-submarine warfare and air defense drills. The Quad nations have also stepped up their efforts to provide COVID-19 vaccines to countries in the Indo-Pacific. This vaccine diplomacy is seen as a way to counter China's own vaccine diplomacy. The Quad nations have pledged to provide over 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines to the region. The Quad has also launched initiatives to promote secure supply chains. This includes the Quad Critical and Emerging Technology Working Group. This group focuses on securing supply chains for critical technologies like semiconductors and 5G. These examples demonstrate the Quad's commitment to translating its rhetoric into action. The Quad's activities are gaining momentum. They are likely to have a more significant impact on the regional dynamics in the coming years. Section 7. Navigating uncertain waters. Challenges and potential pitfalls for the Quad. Despite its growing momentum, the Quad faces significant challenges. Differing threat perceptions among members is a major challenge. Another challenge is the lack of a formal structure. This raises questions about its long-term effectiveness. Success hinges on sustained political will. The Quad must avoid escalating tensions with China.
Section 8. The Dragon's Response. China's Perspective and Counter-Strategies. China views the Quad with suspicion and concern. It sees the Quad as an attempt to contain its rise and undermine its interests in the Indo-Pacific. China has criticized the Quad, calling it a mini-NATO and a relic of the Cold War mentality. China has responded to the Quad's activities by strengthening its own regional alliances and partnerships. It has deepened its economic and military ties with countries like Pakistan, Russia, and North Korea. China has also increased its military presence in the South China Sea. China has also engaged in its own form of vaccine diplomacy. It has provided millions of doses of its COVID-19 vaccines to countries in the Indo-Pacific. China has also launched its own infrastructure development initiatives, like the Belt and Road Initiative, to counter the Quad's influence. China's response to the Quad underscores the complex geopolitical dynamics at play in the Indo-Pacific. The Quad's activities have not gone unnoticed. They have prompted a response from China, which is determined to protect its interests and maintain its influence in the region.
Section 9. A long game. The future trajectory of the Quad is uncertain. It depends on regional security, domestic politics, and cooperation. If united, the Quad could become a significant force. It might formalize if China remains assertive. Internal differences or a less confrontational China could slow momentum. The Quad's future impacts the Indo-Pacific significantly. Section 10. The global chessboard. The Quad in the broader geopolitical context. The Quad's emergence should be understood within the broader geopolitical context. The world is witnessing a shift in the balance of power. The United States remains the world's dominant power. However, China's rise is challenging the existing order. The Quad is one manifestation of this power shift. It reflects the growing anxieties among democracies about China's growing assertiveness. It also highlights the desire to forge new alliances and partnerships to counter China's influence. The Quad is not the only grouping of countries that are concerned about China's rise. NATO, the European Union, and other regional organizations are also grappling with the challenges posed by China. The Quad's future will depend not only on the actions of its members, but also on the broader geopolitical trends. A more fragmented and multipolar world could create both opportunities and challenges for the Quad. Section 11. Conclusion: a force for stability or a catalyst for tension? The Quad is a complex and evolving entity. Its emergence reflects the changing geopolitical landscape and the growing concerns about China's assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific. The Quad's objective is to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific where all countries can prosper and cooperate. The Quad's effectiveness in achieving its objectives remains to be seen. It faces challenges such as differing threat perceptions among its members, the lack of a formal structure, and the potential for escalation with China. Whether the Quad ultimately proves to be a force for stability or a catalyst for tension in the Indo-Pacific will depend on the choices made by its members and by China. The world will be watching closely as this new geopolitical dynamic continues to unfold.